Okay, Paul, so we got our riser right here, and he's one of the first stages in prepping the riser, and what he's gonna be doing is putting on some limb pockets. So we'll let JT finish up these pockets, and we'll go on to the next step here as we'll start installing other parts into this riser, the grip, cable rod, and other pieces. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch Dan as he's preparing these cams to be put onto a bow. Right now he's assembling the modules. Even our wrenches are set with specific torques. Everything is done in a way that we're not gonna damage or do any harm to the product. This is the assembly in which he's gonna be pressing these axles into the cams. And this is really cool to see how these go. A lot of people think that these axles, which function like most conventional axles, will turn. These ones don't. Once they're indexed and set in, it's a done deal. And what most people don't realize is that when you put an axle, conventional axle, into a bearing system like you're talking about, the outside diameter of the axle has to be smaller than the inside diameter of the bearing. Most bearings are actually designed to be pressed onto something, but on bows, they have to slide in just for assembly purposes. So we've taken out that ability for something to shift and move. Again, a superior system to anything that's out there on the market. So what we're gonna do now is Dan's done prepping these, and we'll go on down the line. All right, so what we're gonna do is Dan's prep the cams, axles, put the pillow blocks on the axles. Now this is the final stage. All the assembly is done on the cam. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get here with John, and we're gonna take this cam and assemble them onto the limbs. One of the things that we've talked about with the limbs is there's just massive technology. We've covered the pockets going into the riser, the flex guard, the overdrive binary cams. And these limbs, this is something that we just cannot overshadow. The limbs, these hardcore limbs, you can see that there's several different layers here. We know what E-glass does, where its most efficient part is on a limb. We know what S-glass does. S-glass works very good in a specific part of the limb. The C-glass down here works great in compression. Most limbs on the market are compressed. The bulk of their material is all E-glass. When you bend a limb, you're storing energy on the surface areas, belly cut and on the surface. The center really doesn't do anything. So what we've done is we've put carbon in the core of the limb. That's how we get the terminology hardcore limbs. When you have something harder in the center, as you bend, again, just by default, you're still going to store energy on the outside. But when the center is harder, you're actually going to start utilizing the full length and width and storing energy completely through its thickness and its length. So these limbs, you can tell they're extremely light.
Yeah, they are.
Just like most graphite or carbon materials, they're lighter, they're quicker, they store more energy, and now we've put them on a bow.
John, you making strings here?
Oh yeah.
And you make all your strings in-house?
Yeah, we do. We actually build them for all other bow manufacturers as well, but for our stuff, we do build them. And some of the technology we have, the days of measuring something with a measuring tape and stretching them with physical weights, it's all gone. We've got it down to an absolute science. And so this is the winding machine. This is basically the start process of strings, cables. Get them all winded up here, and you can tell that, again, tolerances are extremely important to us. So we've developed and designed our own tools, our own machines, so that we can keep these tolerances extremely tight.
So here, he actually checks the draw weight.
Yep, right here what we're doing is we're checking draw weight, draw length, and let off. Those are three of the major criteria as far as AMO standards are concerned, which is how a bow is measured. So it looks like he's got this bow pretty close to spec, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna allow him to take it over to the shooting booth, and we shoot every single bow before it goes out the door to make sure that it is within a spec range that we want that bow to be at.
We've gone through the whole process. This is our finished bow, and it's ready for the field.
It is, this
Thanks, Dad.
Guess we know where that one's going.
Yeah, we were going to surprise her and have it for her birthday, but it's a little early birthday present.
That's
but John,
awesome.
I want to thank you so much for
my
taking you through
pleasure.
the factory. We can't wait to use that bow in the field.
When we come back, we're moving from the factory to field. Stay tuned.